the Toronto real estate market is rebounding for now. Welcome back. My name is Adam Nadler. Thanks so much for tuning in again. If you have any questions about real estate or you'd like to chat with me directly, feel free to just call me. My number is in the description below, or you can just use the link in the description below. That'll connect you to a calendar where you can book a time to chat with me at a time that is most convenient for you. Also, feel free to just shoot me an email with any question you have to adam@visionrealestate.ca, and I will get you a custom video response within 24 hours. So this video is going to be super analytical because I was just at this event and it was amazing. We had some great speakers, and in particular, some market analysts from the Toronto Real Estate Board. They did an amazing job of actually kind of outlining what's going on. I'm going to actually steal a few of their key slides that they had presented to us that I think really paint a good picture of what's going on in the market today. But before I do, hit that subscribe button and join our community if you are enjoying this content, and don't forget to like this video so that this content can be pushed out to more people like yourself. All right, so jumping right in, this last year has been a doozy. The Bank of Canada has raised rates super aggressively, but how aggressively? Actually, the most aggressively that they have in their first 12-month period as an interest rate tightening cycle, going all the way back to the 80s. And this has obviously caused a huge market correction, but things seem to be rebounding very quickly, and I want to talk about why. The most fundamental impact to our market that has happened due to the interest rates kind of just shooting through the roof has been a dramatic decrease in sales volume. Not necessarily price so much, but sales volume has absolutely been decimated. Our market just became a frozen tundra where nothing was happening for right about a year. But now we're seeing sharp increases in sales volume as the market kind of just explodes back into activity again. And a lot of people are curious as to how that's happening with interest rates being so high. In fact, it's so surprising that we are actually way surpassing what the forecasts from the Toronto Real Estate Board were for this year. They predicted a slow incline in sales volume leading into the next year, but most of that incline has already happened in the first quarter of this year alone. So how are people buying? Well, it seems that our economy hasn't been doing that bad considering everything. Our economic growth has been pretty decent, and our labor market is still extraordinarily tight. So that's doing two main things. It is, number one, stopping people from wanting to move. And two, it is increasing sales volume. If you had locked in a lower interest rate back when interest rates were lower, there's no point in moving and breaking that mortgage if you had a fixed rate. Fixed rates are pretty popular in Canada compared to our neighbors in the South. A lot of people like that consistency, and they like it so much that we even had most people who were opting for variable rates locking in a fixed payment structure even though they were on a variable rate. So their principal to interest ratio would just adjust accordingly based on what the variable rate had changed to. Now, this had the effect of everybody hitting their trigger rates and things like that. And we thought, well, this is going to be doom and gloom. All of a sudden, these payments are going to go up. People aren't going to be able to afford their mortgages, and all hell's going to break loose. But that's not what happened at all. In fact, the banks don't seem to be worried about it at all. They are just increasing amortization schedules to whatever they need to be in order to fulfill, well, no doom and gloom scenario. So back to what I was saying before, we have everybody not wanting to move. Nobody wants to upsize, taking on a bigger debt load at a higher interest rate, and nobody wants to downsize if they have something and they're comfortable in it. Now doesn't really seem like the time where they would want to make that move. Downsizing typically is best done in a very heavily upward swinging market where what you're selling is going to be increasing more than what you're buying is. And although our market is improving dramatically, we're not quite there yet. So we've got incredibly low inventory. And as sales volume begin to creep up, we are actually starting to approach very quickly to a consumption rate that is outpacing new inventory, meaning that essentially we're running out of real estate. So here's that visualized on a graph. In the red, you have active listings, and in the blue, you have sales. Anytime the blue line hovers above the red line, you're going to have a consumption rate that is outpacing new inventory, and thus prices are going to skyrocket. And since the quantitative tightening of interest rates started last year, we've seen that inverse happen in a very stark manner where sales had dropped really, really low and we still had some inventory left over. But now you can see the gap closing very quickly. And this is causing price growth to pick up very quickly. The consumer mentality around price growth is anticipating that we've already hit the bottom and it's past. So there appears to be a little bit of FOMO in the market. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means that unless something unforeseen happens in our market or in our economy or in our environment, we should expect prices to continue to go up and inventory to stay low, but that's still a big question mark. We seem to be riding one disaster after the other over the past 3 years, and frankly, anything can happen. But it's my personal opinion that we're going to see a very strong year for real estate in 2023 and moving into 2024 as we begin to cut rates. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are we going to see some kind of crazy disaster? Well, this is on YouTube. Of course, everyone in the comments is going to think there's going to be some crazy disaster. But anyways, let me know what you think. Do you think there's going to be some crazy disaster in 2023 and 2024 that is going to bring the housing market to its knees? Or are we going to continue along the trend line that the Toronto Real Estate Board thinks is going to happen? Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you like that video, click the subscribe button on the right, or feel free to enjoy another video here on the left.